So we talk about we can pass in an array to the method. We also can return an array from a method. So if we want to return an array from the method, you will make the return type for that method is the reference of the array. So you can pass in an array when you invoke a method. A method also can return an array. So this following example, we will show you we will have an array, an original array passing through the method. Then we will return another new array from the method. So this method we call reverse. So then we see reverse method, they have an int array list passing into that. And also you see the return type for the reverse method is also int array. So whenever you want to have the return type from the method for a different object, you just need to replace the object type for the return data type before the method. So what we will do here is we have the original array list we passing from the method. So then at the end, after we done this method, we want to return another array. So this array will have totally reverse data from the original one. For example, you see the first element in the list value will be the last element in the result value. So there are many different ways to implement this method. But in this example, we create another array, the new array we call result. So then this result array will using the same capacity size. So that's the size is list.length. So they have the same element, number of elements as the list. So then we use the new to create that. So afterward, you will have a result with each element equal to 0. So now after we create this new array, right? So then we just need to have a for loop to copy. So remember we said the first element value actually is the last element in the result. So we kind of need to use a for loop for that. So we have a for loop. The for loop condition is I less than list.length. But here you have two different counters. We have I start from 0, that's for the index for the list. Then we have another index is result. So this result actually don't start from beginning because the first element, the 0 element, need to be copied the value to the last for the result. So actually J start from the last one. So J equal to the result.length, don't forget -1. So then each iteration we will increment I, but we decrement J. So that's why they can copy over one by one. So then actually the source is from the list array. So we assign list array I into the result J. So after we finish this for loop, then result is our the array we want, right? So we return result. So remember, when you return result, actually just return the object reference variable. So that's why here we say whenever you return an array, the reference for the array will be returned. So that's the example. Use this simple example to show you the array can return from the method. The next big example is a case study. So this case study, actually, I won't go over the whole detail. Instead, I want you to run this program, but I will show you the most important part. So this example actually is in our countLetterInArray.java file. So we have couple methods. They are working on passing array, and also they're working on return an array. But I quickly explain what this example for. So this example, actually the first thing, we will random generate 100 lowercase letter. So that's why you can see the lowercase letter, you see they display. Actually they have 100 because each line, they have 20 letters. So after we random generate this 100 lowercase letter, right? You also need to display, because we only generate lowercase letter, so they have A to Z. So then at the end, you need to tell me each letter how many times we have from this result. So that's this program will run. So that's why this program, actually, I will explain to you for two things. The first part, how can we random generate 100 lowercase letter? So then how we can get the occurrence for each element, each letter. So that's why I want to explain to you. So here, one thing is, the first thing when we talk about how we random generate 100 lowercase letter. But before we can random generate 100 lowercase letter, right? Because later we need to see how many A, how many B, how many C. So that's why not only you need to generate 100 lowercase letter, we also need to save them in an array. So that's why later we can see how many A, how many B, how many C. So that's why the first thing we create 100 size array. The data type is character. So then we call this array name is cards. So then this one actually in the program is we call, so this one actually we call create array. So this create array actually is return type is character array. So this create array, when I call this method, we will return you and size 100 character array. And each element, they have the random lowercase. So that's why when we're using the create array, okay, so then you see return type is character. So then we need to return a character array, right? So that's why in line 22, in the method, we create a cards array. It is card array data type. Then we create using the new size is 100. So after line 22, we have an character array, element size 100. Each element is a no character. So now, we need to create the lowercase for each element, right? So we have a for loop. For I equal to 0, I less than cards.length. So then I plus plus. So in line 26, actually is a random, a method they generate the random lowercase letter. So that's from the textbook. So here I will show you two different ways. So this way is from the textbook. So this textbook, we told you, actually we have a class we call random character. So in this random character, they have the method called get random lowercase letter. So then each time you call this method, you will return a random generate lowercase letter. So we can do it this way. Okay, so that's just the default library from Java. But also here, I want to show you another way to using math.random to generate the random character. Okay, so remember our ASCII. So if we know we have ASCII table. In ASCII table, our A to Z, lowercase a to Z, they are one next to each other. So that's why here, since A to Z, we have 26 different combination, right? So that's why here you can just using math.random times 26. So from here, then we concatenate to int. So from this line, so you see from here to here, I call math.random times 26, and we casting to int. So they will generate the number between 0 to 25. Good. 0 to 25, actually the number we have, we also can just do the calculation to add a. So that means if this value return is 0, 0 plus a, still a. So then I return a. If this number random generator is 25, so A plus 25 actually becomes Z, because in ASCII table, A to Z, no matter uppercase or lowercase, they are in the order. But one thing we need to be careful is the casting. You have the integer plus the character. They were using the ASCII value to do the calculation. But after the add, they done, they return this whole thing, this parenthesis. They will return integer. So then we don't want the integer, we want the character, right? So that's why you need to, again, this one, int cast to the character data type. Then we can assign. So this one is I want to talk about how you will create 100 lowercase random letter on the method. Okay. So actually in this example, we have 4 different methods: passing array, return array. But about the display or about the display array, 2 methods, display array or display count. For these 2 methods, I won't talk about that. I want you to read by yourself. Okay. So here in the main function, you will see the beginning, actually we just call create array. So that's why here the cards have 100 random lowercase letter. So then you see display array will just display you, or like the output show you what are those lowercase letter. So then this one is the second one I want to talk about for this array. So this method. So this method is after we create an array contain 100 lowercase letter, how can we know how many A, how many B, how many C? So that's I want to talk about this method. So after we done how to display, that I want you to just read by yourself. So we see this count letter method. So this count method came from this 100 lowercase letter, right? How can I know how many A, how many B, how many C? So actually, you know, like we say, right, A to Z, we have 26 letters. So on the other hand, I just need to create another int array. Size is 26. So then we have this array. The element value is using to store the number of the letter. And the index 0 represents for A. Index 25, of course, you know that's Z, because we do A, B, C until Z. So we need to play with the index for the array to help us to easier to get the count. So this one is we see how we will get the count letter. You will see, right, I just need to pass this 100 character array. So then I return a 26 int array. So this array will have all the frequency for all the letters. So in order to return this array, let's create a count int array size is 26. Good. Then I just need to use this one. So actually the for loop will be I equal to 0, I less than the card.length. So then actually I just need to go to see in this card array, what's the value here. So you see actually this one minus A. For example, if this value is B, B minus A equal to 1, right? Right. So then that's the B I need to increment my count. So that's why here you will see whenever we read this one. So for example, the first element, for example, is B. Okay. So this B, I read the value because cards, I read the value. But this value is a character. I can calculate with minus A. So B minus A is 1, right? So this one actually is where the index I want to store. So that's why after I got the value minus A, then actually I know which location is the correct one. I know the location, but I need to update here. So I update here is I just need to increment by 1 according to what I read here. So that's why here you have this increment. then we return